All right, running all that back since I was just talking to nobody but Ashley.
You're talking to nobody.
Yep. Well, no, you're not nobody, Ashley. Um, but no. So Magic had Jett cornered because she thought she was Lisa, with her like crazy magical girl bow.
It still
Um,
says offline for.
oh, ah. Try refreshing the page. Yeah, it's showing us live for me now.
It wouldn't be a stream without
No,
a lot of like, are we streaming? Is it good? Is it?
right, exactly, yes. um, yeah, I guess someone let me know that they're also seeing it. It looks like it's good to me, but I want to be sure.
I'm seeing it live now.
You're seeing it live? Okay, then it should be fine. Um, anyway, Magic. Jett cornered. She thinks that Jett is Lisa. She pulled her like big magical girl attack, which is like a giant golden bow thing. Um, then you guys managed to talk her down, but then some other things happened. Magic got seriously wounded. You guys decided to turn back time so that you could hold on to the information you had without the negative consequences that led to that information. But when you reappeared, it was when Magic had Jett cornered. And she whipped around and fired her weapon at the future Jett, um, killing her. And last night we talked about like I think I said like Jett got shot in the head with an arrow, which is definitely not an accurate picture to paint of this. I don't think, because again, this is like a Sailor Moon finishing attack. I think Jett probably just got blown away into a wave of sparkles, which is a
It was
slightly
very
less gruesome
magical. It was
scene.
if it was not horrible for Jet, it would have been very cool looking.
Right, like it's not gruesome looking. It just has bad implications. Um, and then we kind of, because I promised that I wouldn't make you guys sit through exposition for it, we just sort of shuffled past the aftermath of that. Presumably, from there, y'all managed to talk Magic down. Uh, and yes, in the chat, Jett was basically vaporized. Um, you guys managed to talk Magic down. I imagine she probably felt extremely bad about what she'd done. Um, you managed to explain what you learned to your past selves, and every past self other than past Jett has now used their own time tremor to jump to a separate timeline to keep time clones from happening.
Hmm.
Um, so from there, you know, there's this weird situation where everybody other than Jett is from 30 minutes in the future. And we talked about maybe doing some kind of memorial service for the dead Jett.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because I imagine you usually don't get to plan your own funeral. What kind of like memorial do you think Jett gets? Like, do you think there was any remains left over? That like, does she have ashes in an urn, or does she have like a memorial stone? What do you think? What are you thinking?
I was thinking a kind of memorial stone,
Okay.
like the best way, the kind of like what you would have for a pet.
Okay. Okay.
Because like Jet realizes that it's not, it was her but not her,
Right. Right.
and there's not a lot to bury, so and she doesn't really want to spend the money to do a hole,
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
and so she just wants to kind of have like a little thing, almost like in her backyard.
Okay. I think just for chronology's sake, this should probably be somewhere in Willowake still before you guys head home. Just
Okay.
because timeline gets funny otherwise. Maybe you
Mhm.
can like take the memorial stone with you if you want to
Yeah.
like keep it commemorated.
Mhm.
Um, but do you want like describe this memorial stone to me? Then does it have anything written on it, or is it like shaped in a certain way?
Uh, I imagine it just kind of like an oval stone,
Okay.
with Jet Jones on it.
Mm-hmm.
and whatever year to whatever year.
Okay. Yeah, and coming up with those kind of fine setting details is probably something I should do, but
Whatever.
okay. And I imagine everyone kind of has some like a moment of silence for this Jett, but it's awkward for people because you're not dead,
Because Jett's there also for taking this moment of silence.
right? And I think after some time passes, everyone kind of leaves you alone to give you a moment while they're sort of just probably. I imagine this is stretching on into the evening. People are probably resting for the night before getting ready to head home in the morning. And Jett, you're still kind of out by your own grave. Do you have?
And it's also a very weird thing because I'm just like, after this little moment, I'm going to pick up this gravestone and just move on with it.
Right, yeah, you're gonna keep it with you. Do you have any words for yourself, or do you like what is Jett doing? Like, is she mourning this moment? Like, how does she? What's going on with Jett?
In my head, Jett is very because from this Jett's perspective, they saw magic and it was this very tense situation, and then suddenly, was it like next to them or right behind them?
I'm imagining right behind them.
A bunch of them appeared. It's not a totally new concept.
Right, you have seen that happen before, but it is still kind of weird.
It's the second time this has happened, so
Yeah.
um but and then seeing herself disintegrate.
Yeah. And saying a very sad line as it happened.
Well, if there was no body, I don't think that there would
Okay,
be a
yeah.
sad line. The sad line was more just, and honestly, that line didn't strike me as very Jett.
Sure, yeah, I can see that, yeah.
I just was kind of saying it because I've made my,
Because you were trying to bring the mood down.
yeah, that's what I do here.
Okay. So let me think. Jett, you
Shit.
wake up and you are in a white room with like square dimensions. It's bright, but it's not like blindingly bright.
It's not the clone planet from the second Star Wars movie.
No. But there is kind of like the sort of walls and floor and ceiling are all just sort of white and featureless, and there's just kind of nothing in here. And even though you just woke up, you realize you are standing in this room.
Uh, Hello?
There's sort of a moment of silence, and then sort of along the wall that you're facing, a crack starts to form in it in like a rectangular sort of door shape, and a piece of it sort of fades away, and you can't see anything through it. It's just sort of you can't even really describe it as like dark or too bright to see. It's just there's like it's like you're having a dream, and that's not a detail that your brain decided to fill in, you know?
Mhm.
And through this sort of doorway shape, a woman walks through in how is Death dressed? Let's figure that out. 'Cause
Ooh.
black robe feels too. I mean, that's fine, but like, it's always a black robe. We can probably think of something cooler, right?
We can make something weirder than that.
Yeah. So let me think. Do you have any ideas off the top of your head?
Well, I am a bit, biased in the fact that, yeah, as Jules said, goth girl.
um.
Just a bunch of fishnets.
Okay.
Or just Morticia Adams from...
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good. That works. Yeah, sort of a Morticia Adams like black, dress, sort of very like a lounge dress kind of.
Yeah, like still evoking of the black cloak.
Yeah, and just sort of pale skin and long, straight black hair. Um, Molly just saying Morticia Adams eye emoji. Uh, okay. So yeah, this
The
woman.
Hot Topic version is the statue version of her.
Oh sure, yeah, yeah, yeah. um. Okay, so yeah, this Morticia Adams looking woman walks through this door, and the hole in the wall seals behind it, and she just sort of has a sad smile on her face, and she says, "Hello, Jett.
Hi.
Do you remember where you are?"
I'm in. Honestly, I don't remember the name of the town.
Oh, Willow Wake.
I was in Willow Wake. Yeah, I'm in Willow Wake. I was something bad happened. Uh, one of the goddesses.
That's right. Yes. Um, do you remember anything that happened after that? It's normal not to.
We I remember we had to go back, and we're
Oh,
just about to go back. Yeah, that's God dang. I can't. Something mess up on the return trip that I get sent somewhere else.
in a sense, Jett, you are you've passed on, and that can be
Oh,
a hard thing to hear. I know. Do you want a hug?
I, not what I was expecting, but yeah,
Lot of
yeah.
yeah, lot of people want hugs right now. It's an emotional time, and she kind of just closed the distance between you and just kind of gently, hugs you.
Thanks, thanks.
This is your room for, well, eternity.
Wow. Sorry, I'm still kind of reeling a bit here.
I understand.
I'm gonna say didn't expect that to be how I go.
No, I'm aware that you were expecting something a little different. For the record, I'm not glad you died, but if you had to, I'm glad someone else did it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd look on the bright side of this whole situation. Like, I'm sure it looked kind of cool.
Yes, it probably looked pretty cool. I think everyone watching was a little more upset than anything else, though.
Yeah, oh, God, sorry. I just always got to crack a joke or something.
That's okay. You don't have anything to apologize for. You don't have anyone to impress, Jet. This is your new home, and all I'm interested in is making sure that you're comfortable here.
Thanks, thanks.
Um, so, as I said, this is your room, and unfortunately, right now it's a little barren. Um, it can be decorated, but that's the job of the living. The words they say about you and the way they memorialize you, that those are how this room takes shape.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it certainly can be. And I you're sort of in a unique position where uh, there's still a you on the other side. and hopefully she can make sure that you have a nice room.
God, I hope so too.
Um, and Jett back in Willowake, looking at this stone. Um, you are just sort of out here in the quiet, and it's probably not silent here. There's probably all sorts of like crickets and just sort of grass shuffling around as creatures are moving about. So it's not quiet here, but it's as quiet as it gets. And just sort of out of that quiet, you hear a single musical note sort of cut through the noise. And then it's followed by another one. And you're hearing footsteps now, and you hear another note, and it's a very slow, like, melody that's starting to build as you hear these footsteps get closer.
Who's there?
As you turn to look, you can see a woman approaching with a is lute like a harp. There we go.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Is lute a kind of harp, or is that like more of a guitar looking thing?
That's more of a guitar looking thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking like the kind of harp that you sort of balance in the crook of your arm to play.
Yes.
The kind that like I don't know. There's some Greek god that has one of those, don't they? Does
Yeah.
Hermes? I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, totally.
There is a woman approaching with a lyre. Thank you, Jordan, in the chat. It's a lyre, which is a weird homophone for what's going on in this story right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this woman playing this lyre is approaching, and you recognize her from one of the statues because of her ridiculous, like, aquamarine pigtails that are nearly dragging on the ground.
Oh, God. Fucking of course.
And she is just sort of gently playing this melody on the lyre as she kind of walks up to stand next to you. And as she's gotten closer and you can hear the music more clearly, these notes are like pitch perfect in a way that you're not sure you've ever heard music before. She looks at the other hand, she's carrying dominoes.
God damn it. What would be a way where Jett could show, like, reverence towards song?
That's a good question. I'll tell you what, why don't I deflect and say you tell me?
Okay. Well, Jett, as Molly said, Jett 2 Goddesses Jones.
Right, yeah.
Jett is still, like, I think very heavily involved in the Church of Song.
Do you think so? Okay.
Yeah, like, she probably doesn't like maybe go to the church as much as she should.
Okay.
But she still, like, feels a lot of inspiration from it and is where she went to for the majority of her childhood.
Okay.
And so, yeah, she just really likes... She still has reverence for song.
Oh, Chelsea is saying she thought the word was pronounced Lear. Chelsea, it might be. I have no clue.
Yeah, no ideas.
Is it a Lear or a liar? Right, use your phones to text in and let us know.
Hashtag Lear or hashtag liar.
Uh, anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Uh, no, because we were right. High
Yeah.
five.
Oh, cool.
Uh, I don't know if I've said that she follows a different god now, or I think I just said that she.
I think what you said before is that like she probably went a lot as a kid and has just sort of lapsed.
Yes, but it's weird. It's weird being a lapsed person in this world.
Right. I think it's less I've lapsed in my belief and more I've lapsed in my devotion.
Yeah.
It's not something that I dedicate a lot of thought or attention to.
Like I will when Jet is having a hard time and like Edith can't be there for her.
Mm-hmm.
The Church of Song is probably where she goes.
Okay. Okay. So,
Uh,
yeah, how is she? What is she doing to show reverence then?
uh, what I'll say is that the followers of the Church of Song, when greeted by the goddess or are praying to the god, they offer up their instruments, not in a way that it will like like they'll leave it there. It's just like they
Mm-hmm.
will place their instrument in front of the statue or the god.
Sure. Okay.
And so I will say that Jet does that.
Okay. She's just sort of placing her guitar, I guess, at her feet.
Yes, and just kind of like looking up at her. Like I'm guessing that she was kind of like on the ground when she was looking at the stone.
Okay,
Kind of.
sort of on her knees, or
Uh, I was thinking kind of like cross-legged, I guess.
okay, yeah. That works. So, uh, she approaches and she kind of gives you a little smile as you present your instrument, and then she actually, without like missing a beat in the slow little song she's playing, sits down next to you and continues to play for a few moments. Um, and she finishes her little song and says, "I gotta think of I gotta think of a voice for her now. Shit." um, she says, "I heard about what happened from." This is most my voice. This is why'd I say I gotta think of a voice and then just talked. No one would have noticed if I hadn't said it. Anyway, she says, I heard about what happened from Maggie. It seemed only appropriate that.
God, fucking course, Maggie. I got. Damn it.
It seemed only appropriate that someone be here to help with the service. Maggie wanted to be here, but she's a little immature, and she feels awful about what happened, and she's completely inconsolable right now. I hope you understand.
Yes, I do. I do. I do.
She says she sort of smiles at the stammering, and she's like, "There's no need to be nervous, Jett. I'm like I said, I'm here for you. We've done wrong by you and your friends, and this is the absolute smallest gesture that we can start trying to make amends for that. You've gotten dragged into something that you have no business being in your life, and it's because we let you down."
I listen. You never let me down. I honestly kind of let you down. Probably. I'm sorry I haven't been around as much.
That's all right. I understand. Um, I still hear you when you play, and your music is wonderful.
Thanks.
You know, she can hear you if you have something you want to say to her. Or maybe something you want to sing to her.
I should have wrote a song. That would have been the smart thing to do for this one.
I, given the short turnaround on this, I don't think anyone was expecting that from you.
Because like that would be the great thing for this moment of
Right.
Jet being with Song and uh, using her, but like I don't just want to say then Jet plays a song first.
Well, right. Uh, um, song.
But
Oh, go ahead.
I'll say Jet also probably wouldn't have TED time because this was like probably like an hour
Right,
afterwards,
yeah, she
or not even.
definitely, yeah. And Song kind of follows up and says, Jet, like I said, I can hear you when you play, and your music is beautiful, and it's unique, and it's wonderful how you manage to turn all the pain you feel and the difficulty you have and turn it into something beautiful like that. But this is a little different. She understands the pain you feel, and she doesn't need that expressed to her right now. She needs comfort and kindness, and I don't think there's anyone in the whole world that would understand exactly what she needs to feel right now better than you. Um, that you spend so much time articulating that pain and directing all these terrible feelings toward yourself, but I think this time you need to think about something kind to say to yourself. And she actually offers you her lyre.
God. By the way, I already cried twice in this one.
Ah!
Uh, she Jet takes it the most carefully she has ever handled anything in her entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And gives it like a couple of cursory plucks.
Uh-huh. I will say in Jet in the afterlife, as Jet in the real world is giving those plucks, the entire like the walls of this room like ripple like a pebble got dropped into them.
Okay. Um, can say something first and then say that I play the song?
I think that is totally fine if you want to describe sort of the sentiment and the feeling behind the song, since again, I'm not expecting you to just improvise a song here.
Yeah, no. Uh, what I'll say is that I'm so close to losing it.
Aww. Take your time.
There's a great I lost it.
Aww.
I lost it when I was like thinking about my own character, which is weird.
Well, like you said, you you, made a character that's very personal to you.
what I'll say,
Mm-hmm.
or what this song says, is that Jet knows that she has had to fight for a lot of things in her life, and not from other people,
Mm-hmm.
but from herself. Like feeling good enough to uh, like kind of allow herself to have friends, allow her to have bands, and even though those bands failed, or they failed because of her mistakes she made,
Mm-hmm.
she enjoyed the time that she had with them, and it was because of her bravery, where she was able to fight against her own uh, being both terrified of new things and
Mm-hmm.
so down on herself, where she was able to fight through that. She was able to have the most amazing times of her life. And what Jet is saying to Jet is that she's so proud that she got there. And that even though it ended like this, is that the Jet, who is now dead, has nothing bad to say about herself. She had nothing bad to say about herself. Because she fought to get there, and she died standing up for her friends and trying to help people, which is all she ever wanted to do. And that the Jet who is alive feels proud that that Jet who is a part of her, because it is her, had that bravery. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. Um, so yeah, you are playing this lyre and just sort of improvising this song that expresses all of that. And you're finding almost magically that you are um, finding the right meter to sing all of this in and the right rhyme. And in the underworld, uh, the walls continue to sort of pulsate and they drop away, and the dead Jet finds herself in complete darkness, and she can't even see death anymore. She's just sort of floating in nothing, and then she can feel in her hands all of a sudden a weight, and it is the same lyre, and she can hear the music that the living Jet is playing, and she starts to play along and harmonize and create this just beautiful harmony that's crossing between the two worlds. And at some point, Jet, you didn't really even notice when, but Song picked up your guitar and is playing a bass line to complement the melody that you're playing. And the song hits a crescendo, and a spotlight shines down on the dead Jet all of a sudden, and she realizes that she's on a stage, and she can't really see any of the people in the crowd. She can just sort of see the general shapes of an audience that are clapping along and singing along. And she realizes that Song is standing next to her, playing with her. And Death actually has a drum set that she's just sort of... She's not nearly as good of a musician as either of you, but she's trying to help. She's
trying, damn it.
She's sort of just tapping out a very simple beat that kind of gives the sound a little more depth. Just sort of a general, just tapping away on a snare drum. And as the song finishes, Song kind of takes the dead Jett's arm and raises it up in the sky, and she sort of leads a bow with you, and the entire sort of shadow audience just erupts into applause. And back in the living world, Song puts your guitar back down and just sort of holds you and just stays with you like that for as long as Jett needs her to. And at some point, she just sort of very gently in Jett's ear just whispers, "That was beautiful."
Gee, Luke. Didn't have to do that to me.
And I'm trying to think, can you remind me, we gave Jett some kind of stunt with music. Do you remember what it was?
Yes, it was Talking Dudes.
Oh, right. Okay, so she doesn't have something for playing music specifically. She just has, like, music knowledge.
Yes.
Okay, did we decide on what... Oh, goodness.
Yeah, sorry.
Did we decide on what skill we would roll for Jett when she needed to play music?
We have a music skill.
Oh, okay, you have a specific music skill. Okay, I forgot.
Yeah, we invented that.
That's right. Now I remember. Okay. Like I said, Song just sort of sits there with Jett. And eventually, I imagine she was probably there most of the night with her. But, eventually, when the time comes to walk away, Song sort of stands up and helps Jett to her feet. And she picks up the stone and sort of presses it into Jett's hand and says, make sure that you take good care of it and take good care of the person whose name's written on this. And keep the lyre. I couldn't stand to take it back after you played something so beautiful on it. You made it yours.
Thank you.
And she sort of is getting ready to walk away, and she just says, remember, I'm always listening, and I always love to hear new music.
As Song walks away, Jett kind of stares at the lyre for a good long minute. And just kind of quietly says to herself, I should probably start going to church more. And she kind of laughs to herself and starts crying. Happy tears this time.
Yeah. So, what I want you to do, Ashley, on Jett's character sheet, is I want you to delete Jett has nothing going for her. And under extras, I want you to put Song's lyre. And we can work out exactly how this looks like narratively,
Yeah.
however you want to style it. But from a mechanical perspective, as long as you have the lyre, you can use it to play music, to make attacks, and defend against attacks.
Okay.
And like I said, we can figure out if that means like literally like blasts of sound, or if you are somehow like making like manipulating the environment to like dance to music. However, we want to figure out the best way to make that suit Jett best. We can
Okay.
figure that out, but mechanically, yeah, that's what it does.
Sweet.
And that's the scene.
Yeah, no, I think that's good.
Yeah. Now that we've killed everybody.
Yeah, I yeah.
Um. Yeah, I guess thanks for listening, everybody. Unless you had something you wanted to wrap up with, but it seemed like we hit a.
No, I think this is a good moment.
Okay, okay. Yeah. Oh, Jordan wants to know what the liar's name is, and I think that's a good question.
Yeah, no, that is a good question. I would say that Chet maybe at this moment in time is not super great on the word liar.
Sure, yes.
Uh, the one that jumps to my head immediately is Song's Promise.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that'll do it then. Thanks a bunch for checking in with us on this quickie session.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.